Hello friends, Intuitive Rene here, bringing you your week ahead inspiration. I never know what quite to call it. We're looking at the week of the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. And for those of you who are returning to my channel, remember last week I did change the format of this particular video a little bit. I'm going to stick with that format for another 1 or 2 weeks, just so that we can all really get to have a feel for it. I did ask for feedback, and I do value every single one of you who did give me incredible feedback. I do so appreciate it. And I most of you were very happy with the new format. There were only 1 or 2 of you who sort of said that they liked the complexity and the variety that was in the previous format. So I may still tweak this a little bit. I haven't quite decided, but for now I'm going to stick to the same format as last week, where I'm going to use my Word of the Year Oracle, which are my orange and green cards, to get the collective theme for the week ahead. So that will be the theme that everybody is affected by. And then I'm going to use these 2 decks to do the readings for each sign of the zodiac, so that there will be a little bit of guidance, a little bit of insight into the week ahead for everybody from Aries through to Pisces. I will have timestamps down below to help you navigate that and to help you move around to your particular zodiac or whichever zodiacs in question you want. And obviously, if you do want to watch them all, I'm sure you will get some kind of inspiration from every single one of them as well. Then for those of you on my motivated or activated tiers on my YouTube channel, I am going to do you a bonus reading at the end. So once you've watched the 12 zodiacs or your particular zodiac, do use the timestamps to jump straight across to your bonus reading. And for those of you who are missing out on the bonus and would like to have a little bit of more insight, do sign up to the YouTube channel memberships, and then you can have access to free readings once a week, bonus readings once a week, guidance and insight on an almost continual basis. So do think about doing that. So friends, these videos that I bring you are a free service that I offer, and it's my way of giving back to the community. You know, I like to be creative with the videos, and I enjoy inspiring, motivating people. I mean, that's the whole reason why I exist on this planet, is to inspire and motivate. So, you know, these videos is a really good way of doing that. So if you do appreciate or enjoy my videos, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. Comment from you is always so valued and appreciated. And for those of you who would like to offer more, there is a thanks button that you can click down below to offer a little tip, which obviously just helps to keep the wheels turning, so that I am able to continue bringing such awesome content. And for those of you who have shown gratitude and appreciation before, thank you. Really appreciated. So these are the decks that I'm going to be working with. We're working with 100% plastic Rider Tarot deck. So it is your standard tarot, but it's 100% plastic, which means it shuffles beautifully. Even somebody like me who has problems with shuffling. And this deck, because this deck, believe in your own magic, you know, that's just what I stand for. So we'll get some interesting readings from these, and I'm going to put these away, and I'm going to bring out my Word of the Year Oracle, and let's give them a shuffle. I just want to make sure that I'm not doing upside down. And let's see what our theme is for the week ahead. So the week ahead, we're looking at the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. We're going to take a card from each of these, the orange and the green. I want that one over there, which will give us, as I said, the collective theme for the week ahead. So it's a theme that everybody is influenced by, affected by, or that everybody needs to focus on for the week ahead. And I will bring that into each of the readings for the individual zodiacs. Okay, happy with that. I'm looking for, let's go for that one over there. Okie dokie, let's have a look and see what our theme for the week ahead is. So our first portion is thriving. Oh, I like thriving. Thriving is good. Thriving self-care. Okay, okie dokie. I am going to leave thriving self-care there. So my interpretation of thriving self-care is, first of all, that we have to understand that we need to be constantly taking care of ourselves. And right now, for this next week, for the next 7 days, if you are taking care of yourself, if you are looking out for yourself, looking after yourself, you are going to thrive on a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual level. Because that's what I get with these. I get that it's not affecting just one aspect of life or one part of life, but it's actually affecting all parts. Self-care is not just about the physical. It's not just about, the eating and the drinking appropriately. It's not just about the exercising and giving your body that it needs. It's not just about the cleanliness of the body, the hygiene and the washing and the cleaning. It's so much more than that. It's even on an emotional and mental level about keeping yourself clean, clear, and avoiding or resolving issues and challenges that we have. Self-care is all of that. It's not just one aspect. Thriving self-care is telling you that whatever you're doing at the moment, you need to continue doing it, because that is how you will thrive as an individual. That is how you will have the success and the accomplishments and the achievements that you are looking for. So if you want to thrive in all that you are and all that you do, continue with the self-care. And I'm even going to say to you, let's ramp it up a bit. Let's increase it. Let's do more self-care in order to ensure that we are thriving and accomplishing everything that we need to and everything that we want to. So our theme is thriving self-care. I'm expecting the individual zodiac readings that we're about to do to actually have a lot of focus around the different aspects of self-care that we need to be doing in order to succeed in all that we are and all that we do. So I think this is going to be amazing. Thriving self-care. I love that. I absolutely, absolutely love that. All right, so friends, we're going to start with the individual zodiac readings, and then there will be the bonus reading at the end. So at this point, if you are Aries, do stick around. I'm going straight into the Aries reading now. And if you are one of the other zodiacs, then you can use the timestamps to jump ahead to yours. I do hope that you enjoy, and see you at the bonus reading. Aries, hello and welcome. Let's have a look and see what the week ahead has in store for you and how it all relates to our theme of thriving self-care. I'm just giving the oracle cards a very short shuffle. I'm not going to spend a lot of time shuffling. I did shuffle before I started recording, so I'm happy with that. Let's cut the deck and let's grab you a card, Aries. Oh, we got some glare over there. Right, we'll find a place to put it where there is no glare. It looks like it's going to live over there. All right. So Aries, let's have a look at the card on itself. It's card number 11, and it's the card of the sun, and it says, paint the sun back into your sky. Now, this is actually incredibly interesting, Aries, because immediately when you look at the card, you're like, how can it be the sun when there's nighttime? But look at what she's doing. She is the artist. She is the creator, and she is creating the sun. She is painting the sun and bringing light back into her world, bringing light back into her environment. Now, when I see this in relation to thriving self-care, I'm just going to shuffle the other cards while I'm talking. So let's push this one over there. So thriving self-care and painting the sun back into your life. Painting the sun back into your life tells me that we need to bring in more happiness. We need to bring in more joy. We need to bring in more laughter, more life, more excitement, more energy into everything that we do. So obviously you're feeling a bit flat. Obviously you're feeling a little bit uninspired. You're feeling a little bit demotivated, a little bit hard done by. And Aries, what Spirit is saying to you is that you've got to take care of yourself. Nobody else is going to bring happiness and joy into your life. That is your job, okay? You have to bring happiness and joy. If you're not happy with where you are, if you're not happy with what's happening, if you're not happy with your situation or your circumstance, you are the only one who can change it. So do what you need to do to change it. But it's almost like the fact that she is painting the sun back into your life with thriving self-care. It's almost like what I get from Spirit around that is that you need to make the changes. You need to do whatever needs doing, okay? You need to initiate it. You need to create it. You need to inspire it. No one's going to tap you on the shoulder and say, you're missing a little bit of happiness in your life. Here, let me offer you some happiness. That's just not going to happen. Thriving self-care, you have to do it for yourself. You have to go looking for the happiness. You have to find it and you have to bring it. And I have to say that the tarot that that we're doing with it as well is just speaking that same story. All right, so Aries, we've got the Three of Cups, we've got the Knight of Swords, and we've got the Fool. Three of Cups is about celebration. Now, what I get with the celebration card and the thriving self-care and the Sun, it's about, number one, acknowledging that which you do have that is going well for you in your life. So practice a little bit of gratitude, practice a little bit of thriving self-care, and say, you know what, even though I'm unhappy, even though there are parts of my life that are not fabulous, even though there are aspects of myself which I would like to be better, I have so many things to be grateful for. I have so many things that are working for me, so many things that are actually bringing happiness and joy to my life. So let's practice gratitude first. And you know I am a huge advocate for gratitude and for joy. So let's practice gratitude. Let's focus on what we do have that is working for us. Then let's get our head straight, okay? Because that's what I'm getting from Knight of Swords over here, is let's get our head straight. Let's have an understanding of what happiness actually looks like for us. Not for your partner, for your child, for your parent, for your sibling, for your work colleague, for your friend, for your neighbor. No. What does happiness look like for you, Aries? Because we're doing thriving self-care, which means we're focusing and acknowledging on ourselves and not on anybody else that's around us. What does happiness look like? Is it the sun? You know, is that all you need to do, is just to paint a sun in the sky? Or do you need to, you know, figure it out for yourself? But take some time to figure it out. Take some time to think about what happiness actually looks like for you, what all of this looks like for you, and then do that. Okay, immediately jump into action and do it. And the thing that really excites me here, Aries, for each one of you, is this Fool card, because this Fool card is saying, if you find the courage and the conviction to trust this happiness, this joy, this self-care that you're identifying for yourself, and if you get busy with it, because that's what these two cards are. It's like, don't overthink it, just get on and do it. Paint that sun in your sky, get creative, get busy, but make sure that you're doing things for yourself, because it's thriving self-care, and not the things that other people would want or expect of you. And if you're able to do that, the Fool card is confirming that you will have untold success, that the future that awaits you hereafter is nothing that you can imagine at this stage, but incredibly positive and incredibly good for you. So Aries, very, very interesting indeed for you. And I definitely think it's a case of, you know, not too much thinking, a lot of celebrating, a lot of acknowledgement, and a lot of positivity to ask ourselves, what does happiness actually look like? What is the self-care? What does the happiness look like? What does the sun look like? What does the light in our lives actually look like? Get on and do it. Get created, initiate it, make it happen, and just trust that the universe has got your back on this, and that on the other side of this is a wonderful existence for you. I love that, Aries. I love that. Love and blessings to you. I do hope you have an amazing week going forward. Of course, Rene goes and knocks all the cards everywhere. Right, let's put these back. Taurus, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading with me. We are looking at the week of the 28th of August to the 3rd of September. We're going to do the Oracle card first. We have a collective theme for the week ahead of thriving self-care. So Taurus, let's have a look and see what does thriving self-care look like for you, and what does the week ahead look like as well. I'm just doing a very, very short shuffle. I'm not going to spend too much time shuffling because we don't want to do that. Let's cut the deck. Card for you is card number 8. And card number 8 is about wings, and the key phrase it says, you never needed those wings to fly. Because if you look at her, I mean, here she is, she's flying, isn't she just amazing? And here she is flying through the sky, but she doesn't have any wings, okay? Because sometimes we feel like we can't do a thing until we have a thing. But the truth of the matter is, we can do anything we set our minds to. Taurus, I'm not encouraging you to climb to the top of a building and to jump out and pretend you can fly. Let's just get that clear. That is absolutely not what this particular reading is saying to you. But what this reading is saying to you, you know, anything that you want to do, sometimes we put self-limiting beliefs on ourselves, you know, in thinking, oh, I can't earn that kind of money until I have done A, B, and C, or I can't own that car or drive that car or have that car or have that house, or I can't buy a new computer, or whatever your circumstance are. We often say, well, I can't because, and there's always a reason. In this particular case, she believed that she couldn't fly because she didn't have wings. But actually, when she found the courage and the confidence and the ability to believe in herself, I mean, you know, thriving self-care, when she found the ability to believe in herself and actually was confident, and had the courage to actually try, she immediately saw herself lifting off the ground ever so slightly. And that's when she realized that even though she doesn't have actual wings, that she was able to fly. And Taurus, I think for each one of us, I'm just going to leave the card there as I start shuffling the tarot while I carry on talking. So for each one of us, we need to recognize and understand that, yes, there's many things that we all want to do. There's many things that you want to do, Taurus, and you're probably very good at telling yourself you can't do it. You're probably very good at saying, oh, not until this has happened, or not until that has happened, or not until I've experienced this or that, or we put these limiting beliefs on ourselves. And Taurus, the situation is thriving self-care as the collective theme for the week ahead is telling you to be mindful, to be aware of who you are, of what you are, to recognize your own limits, your own abilities, and to realize that you are limiting yourself most of the time. And actually, there's a lot of things that you can do. There's a lot of things that you are capable of. There's a lot of things that you should be doing. But it's because your self-care is not fabulous, because you haven't been giving yourself enough encouragement. You haven't succeeded at doing the things that you want to do, the things that you should be doing, and the things that you want to be doing. All right, so again, I am not encouraging any of you to try and fly without wings. But metaphorically speaking, I am encouraging you to fly without wings, but not actually, all right? All right, Taurus. So, thriving self-care, you've got to start believing in yourself. You've got to start recognizing and acknowledging who you actually are, what you actually are, what you're actually capable of. And instead of always finding reasons as to why you can't, let's find reasons as to why you can. Now, very interesting tarot cards that have been laid out for you here, Taurus. We have got the Two of Cups, we have got the Six of Wands, and we've got the Three of Swords. Now, Three of Swords is never a positive card. It's never a happy card. It's never a wonderful card, because it talks about disappointment. It talks about sadness. It talks about hurt, okay? But we've got two incredibly positive cards here. So, Taurus, the way that I'm interpreting this for each one of you, Two of Cups is talking about a connection or a partnership between you and one other. When we talk about a one other, it could be romantic, it could be relationship, but it could also be you and a work colleague. And I'm not talking about romance between you and a work colleague. I'm talking about just a significant connection, whether it be a conversation, whether it be support, whether it be helping each other out, okay? Considering we've got thriving self-care as the collective theme, I am going to say to you, Taurus, with this partnership that we have going on here, even though partnerships are normally a 50-50 coming together, this is more about you allowing somebody else to assist you to reach the impossible, to do the impossible, and to do that which you are longing to do. There is going to be a lot of success. The Six of Wands that we have over here is about victory. It is about success. It is about everybody recognizing your accomplishments and your achievements. So it's almost like you've got to allow people to assist you to reach the impossible, and then people will see you and recognize you. And by doing that, you will be working with thriving self-care. Just to talk about the elephant in the room, if I may call it that, the Three of Swords, as I said earlier on, it is the card of heartbreak. It's the card of disappointment, of sadness, of loss, of tragedy. You know, I can carry on with all those horrible descriptive words, but in this particular case, Taurus, this card is basically saying to you that you're going to step up to the plate this week. You need to step up to the plate this week. You need to be a little bit selfish this week, and others are not going to be happy with it. People are going to respond negatively to your thriving self-care because you've always been the kind of person to support others, to help others, to guide others, to often say no to your own needs, wants, and desires, but always saying yes to everybody else's. So you've always been the one to encourage and to help other people to fly in their own circumstances, and always putting your own needs, wants, and desires behind, okay, at the back of the queue. Thriving self-care is telling you that this week you're going to step up to the plate and you're going to say, hold a second, it's my turn. It's my turn to succeed. It's my turn to be happy. It's my turn to thrive. And that is where this disappointment is going to come from. The disappointment is going to come from the other people in your life who are not used to you saying no to them. And you are going to say no to them because it's your turn to fly. Okay, it's your turn to enjoy the abundance, the success, the thriving self-care that you've been wanting, needing, and working on for such a long time. So when we see the Three of Swords here for you this week, Taurus, it's not your sadness, it's not your disappointment, it's not your hurt and pain and suffering. It's the hurt and the pain and the suffering of the people around you who are not happy with you not giving them your undivided attention. And you know what? It's about time that these people, if I can say, and I know it sounds terribly harsh, but it's absolutely about time that they stood up for themselves, that they figured their lives out for themselves. You don't have to carry everybody. It's okay for you to take a little bit of time out for yourself this week because you never needed those wings to fly. You are ready, as you are right now, ready to achieve, to succeed, to accomplish everything that you want, everything that you need, with no reason to feel guilty. And the disappointment, maybe you are going to feel a little bit of this disappointment when you see how upset everybody else is at your success, at your abundance, at your thriving self-care. So you may feel a little bit of guilt, but I'm hoping it's a little bit of guilt. I'm hoping it's not a lot. But to me, this disappointment is more around those other people in your life who are so used to you putting them first, and they don't like it when they're suddenly not number one priority. Because Taurus, this week, it is a week for you to be a priority in your life and not other people. All right. I do hope that you have an amazing week, Taurus, with love, blessings. Take care. Gemini, hello and welcome. Let's get into your reading and see what the week ahead has in store for you. I am giving the cards just a short little shuffle. I'm not going to spend a lot of time shuffling. We have a collective theme for the week ahead of thriving self-care. So thriving self-care, Gemini, let's have a look and see what does that mean for you? How is that going to play out? And what do you need to know for the week ahead? We are looking at the week of the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September. That is the time frame that we are looking at. We're going to turn your oracle over and see what we have. Oh, this is so interesting. This is exactly the same as what we had for Aries. Right, so there's obviously a pattern developing here, okay? And I'm sort of going to almost say word for word what I said to Aries. So Gemini, what's going on here for you at the moment, it is the card of the sun. The key phrase at the bottom says, paint the sun back into your sky. So when you look at the card, you can see that she's got a lot of nighttime. We've got some stars, we've got some whatever's going on here. And here she stands on her little ladder, bless her soul, and she's got her paint easel, or she's got her paint palette, I should say, her color palette, which is full of different shades of yellow. I see there's some oranges and so forth, and she is painting the sun back, and as she's painting, you can see it's getting lighter and lighter, lighter and lighter. Who needs the sun? She does. What is the sun? The sun is light. The sun is happiness. The sun is joy. The sun is thriving self-care. The sun is the thing that we all need in order to succeed, in order to survive, in order to live a good life, the life that we want, the life that we deserve. I'm going to leave the card over there. I'm going to carry on talking about it while I shuffle the rest of the cards. So thriving self-care with the sun card is basically saying to you that you've got to recognize and almost admit to yourself what is missing in your life, Gemini. What is the happiness? What is the joy? What is the light that is missing in your life right now? Okay. And once you're able to identify it, and when I say identify it, I'm not talking about the thing that's missing in the people around you's life. Okay, what is it that the happiness that you bring to others? That is not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here, Gemini, is your own personal happiness. What makes you happy? What is missing? What is lacking? What is not in your life right now? Okay, so it's about recognizing that, recognizing for yourself why you're not happy, what is lacking, and then for you personally to take the steps necessary to bring it back in. She's not waiting for the dawn to come. She's not waiting for the sun to rise tomorrow. She's not waiting for, you know, an eventuality to take place. Not at all. She's taking things into her own hands, and she's saying, I want the sun to shine, therefore I need to put the sun in the sky. And in all honesty, Gemini, this is exactly what you need to be doing. You need to, in order to have thriving self-care, in order to have a solid plan of happiness and of joy and etc., you need to first of all accept and admit what is lacking, what is missing in your life, and then you need to go about it and put it back. And that's exactly what this week is going to be for you. Let's lay out the tarot. Okay. Very, very interesting cards indeed. All right, so Gemini, paint the sun back into your sky, thriving self-care. Recognize and acknowledge what it is that you want, what it is that you need, what it is that makes you happy, and then take the steps that you need to reintroduce that into your life this week. When I look at the cards that we have, we've got the Three of Wands, we've got the Ace of Swords, and we have the Six of Wands. So you've got the two Wands energies on either side here. And when we have two Wands energies, it is a double amount of activity, because Wands is our suit of activity. It's a suit of doing. All right, I often call it the verb. It's the doing. So when we see the Three of Wands, the Three of Wands is telling you that you know what you're working towards, you know where you're going, you know what you want to do. All right, you have a plan. You have a plan, and you've already initiated, you're already partways, you've already started painting your sun. But you're at a point in your life now where you're probably questioning yourself, not the goal, not the end game, but questioning yourself and thinking, actually, is this what I want? Is this what I deserve? Is this what's going to make me happy? So you're sort of at a point in your life now where you're sort of questioning and pondering your actions, your decisions, and the things that you have already done. And you're at a point now saying, okay, so, you know, almost doing like a due diligence, all right, on your journey, on the progress of painting the sun back into your sky. So you're questioning, challenging, looking at everything that's going on around you, which could trigger some interesting thoughts, because Ace of Swords is about triggering thoughts. It's about these inspirations and ideas that we have. So you're going to take stock. You're going to have a look at yourself, your circumstance, your situation. How happy am I? How close am I to achieving happiness? How close am I to painting the sun back in the sky? Not considering anybody else. All right, Gemini? Not allowed to consider anybody else. It doesn't matter if your plan is connected to anybody else's plan. This is a solitary motion of following through. When you have new ideas, and these new ideas are not different to the goal of happiness, they're not different to the goal of self-care. What they are possibly new ideas on how to improve on our thriving self-care, how to do it better, how to do it smarter. So if you have any ideas on how to improve on the current plan, the current movement and energy that you're working through, then listen to it, okay? Because these new ideas are really good. They need to be paid attention to. They need to be thought out. They need to be processed, because they will lead you to happiness. They will lead you to victory. And in all honesty, when we talk about victory here, we're not talking about dominance over another person, because it's clear with everything that we've got going here, Gemini, that dominance over another person is not what matters to you. What matters to you most is your happiness, because if you're happy, if you're successful, if you're taken care of, you're in a better position to help others. But if you don't help yourself first, you're in no position to help others. And in all honesty, Gemini, looking at this whole reading, that is the crux of it. You've got to make sure that you're in a position where you are taken care of, so that you are better able to take care of others. That is the most important thing for you right now. Okay, so thriving self-care is painting the sun back into your own sky, doing it yourself. Don't wait for anybody else to do it. Take stock of where you are, take stock of your journey on a daily basis. Every single day, check in with yourself and say, where am I? How close am I? What do I still need to do? Are there any ideas on how to do it better, quicker, smarter? And know that once you have found your happiness, once you have found your success, you're in a better position to help other people. All right, Gemini. Lots of love and blessings to you, and I do hope that you have an amazing week going forward. Hello and welcome, Cancerians. Welcome to your week ahead reading with me. We're looking at the week of the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. We're starting off with the Oracle this week. I'm just going to give it a very, very short shuffle. So Cancerians, we have a collective theme of thriving self-care. A collective theme, which means that it's valid and applicable to everybody this week. And let's see what that means for you. We have got card 25. And card 25 says to you, be your own first priority. I love it. It is about Muriel. Oh my gosh, I can't speak, but it's about being your own first priority, you know. And if we look at the card that we have over here she is painting this beautiful mural on her wall. You know, she's doing it because she wants it. She's doing it because it brings her joy. She's doing it because it's her own self-care. It's her own way of taking care of herself. So she's got her kitty cat there, and if you have a kitty cat, or if you've had any experience with a kitty cat, you will know that when you're doing something, they're going to be meowing at you because they want your attention. They want you to feed them. They want you to touch them. Or they're just looking at you going, what are you doing, human? What are you doing, you strange person? So Cancerians, this is a week for you to be your own first priority. Kitty cat can wait. Kitty cat in this particular card represents family, friends, colleagues, acquaintances, you know, everybody else, because we do have a week of thriving self-care. This is a week for you to be doing the things that bring you joy, that bring you happiness, that almost give you a sense of satisfaction, a sense of happiness, and a sense of joy. Everybody else, you know, their needs are not going to go away. Everybody else around you, they're still going to need whatever they need from you. That's not going to change. That's not going to stop. But it doesn't have to be your first priority. If they have to wait 5 minutes, then so be it. Nothing terrible will happen to them while they're waiting those 5 minutes. But it is important, Cancerians, for each one of you this week to take as much time as you need to do the things that you want to do the things that bring you a sense of happiness, a sense of joy, and just a sense of thriving self-care. Right, so let's finish shuffling the tarot deck. Let's cut the deck and let's see what it wants to add to the situation. We have the Hierophant, we have Justice, and we have the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so this is interesting. All right, so Cancerians, thriving self-care, about painting your own mural, about recognizing that you need to be your own first priority. We've got two major arcana cards, and then we have got the Five of Pentacles. Typically, we don't want to see that card, okay? Under normal circumstances, in a typical tarot reading, this is not really a great card for us to see, for us to receive, to come through for the particular reading. The Hierophant and the Justice cards are where I'm going to be putting my attention. I will obviously talk about this one as well. The Hierophant is about teachings, about learnings, about understandings. It's about, you know, the basics of life, that the difference between right and wrong, okay? It's about our morals. Let's change mural to morals, okay? It's about our morals. It's about our basic understandings, but it's also about the things of understanding the differences between right and wrong. So we've got both of these cards, and I want you to look at the body language of our figures that we have here, ignoring these two figures over here, but looking at these two figures in red. They're both sitting facing us square on. They both have got white shoes. They both have got hands raised. Yes, he's got one hand pointed down, but they've both got their hands up. They've both got crowns. They're both sitting very, very solid, very square. They are similar energies, entities, and people in our lives. Now, Cancerians, let's just talk about Cancerian energy for a second. You guys are very sensitive, you're very kind, you're very considerate, you're always thinking about other people, you're always wanting to support and help other people, you're always putting everybody else's needs, wants, and desires before your own, which often means that you are the one that goes without, okay? Because when you need support, when you need help, when you need a little bit of self-care, nobody's there for you, because everybody's so used to you offering and giving and supplying and taking care of everybody else. So this week, Cancerians, you're going to have to struggle within yourself to not be so supportive, so encouraging, so kind, so generous, so supportive to everybody else, because this week you do have to take care of yourself. You do have to paint your own mural and decide for yourself what is it that makes you happy. You need to be your own first priority and let everybody else go. You're going to feel like you're a terrible person. You're going to feel like you're just selfish and self-absorbed and, you know, all of those kind of descriptive words. But the truth of the matter is, it's time for you to do what's right. It's time for you to lead by example. It's time for you to take better care of yourself before you start taking care of anybody else. It is such a strong theme for this week. It's come through quite strongly in a couple of the other zodiacs I've already done. And for you Cancerians, for this week, it's about understanding the basics. Like, let's go back down to basic life principles, basic life understandings. Let's understand the difference between what's right and wrong, and let's also not make up or what's the word I'm looking for, doing things for others that they don't deserve. There we go. Okay, you want to make sure that any support that you offer, anything that you do for another person, that it's not just out of habit, but it's that they actually truly deserve it. But the truth of the matter is, you deserve it this week. You deserve to do whatever it is that you need to do for yourself. Take the time to spend with yourself, to entertain yourself, to just feed your soul. And don't worry about the people that you're hurting, the people that you're neglecting, and the people that you're putting out. Because in all honesty, they're not your priority. You are your own priority this week. We can worry about them later. Their situation won't change. Their circumstance won't change. They certainly won't be in any kind of danger. But it's this time, this week, for you to focus on you, to get back to basics, to understand the difference between right and wrong, to understand what do you need to do, what can you do, what should you do. But let's first focus on ourselves, because we need to be our own first priority. So Cancerians, everybody wants you, everybody needs you, everybody, wants your support and encouragement. But this week, learn to say no. I keep pushing this card further and further away. Learn to say no and learn to be okay with that while you focus on yourself. Focus on putting your own needs, wants, and desires first and finding what it is that makes you happy this week. Lots of love and blessings to you, Cancerians. I do hope that you have an amazing week ahead. Oh, making a mess I am. Leo, hello and welcome. Let's have a look and see what the week has in store for you, Leo. I am going to shuffle our oracle deck, just a quick little shuffle. Not going to spend too much time shuffling the cards, and then we're going to draw and get started with your week ahead. Leo, we are looking at the week of the 27th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. We have a collective theme of thriving self-care. So the collective theme is for everybody, regardless of zodiac, regardless of who they are, regardless of circumstance. Thriving self-care is the collective theme for everybody. So we're going to see how it incorporates into your reading and the message that comes through. So Leo, let's turn over our oracle and see what we have. We have got card number 30, and card number 30 is Castle, and it says it's time for healing, not for war. So what is our castle? Let's just break this apart very quickly. Obviously, there's a lot of tragedy that's happening in the background here. Everything looks dark, dusty, smoky. And she's got what looks like a handful of sand, and she's just allowing the sand to sort of, run through her fingers. Her castle was what she assumed was her safe place. It was her place of safety. It was her home where she felt protected, where she felt safe, where she felt secure. And it looks like everything has come crumbling down. It looks like we have had tragedy. We have had hardship. We have had difficulties. We've had some war, okay? And now it's a time to sort of acknowledge that, feel it, to go through the process, and then to start cleaning up, tidying up, and fixing. The castle in this particular case is your own emotional well-being, Leo. So we're talking about you on an emotional level. We're talking about you on a physical level. We're talking about you metaphorically. And it's about realizing that the structure of your life that you had built up for yourself, that you thought was quite safe and quite secure and quite stable, something's happened and it has come crumbling down. Things are not standing in the way that they should be. Maybe you've noticed it, maybe you haven't. But this week in particular, Leo, you are going to be forced into acknowledging your castle's demise, acknowledging that your castle is no longer standing in the way that you want it to, in the way that you need it to, or the way that you expect it to. It's time to realize that maybe we've just not cleaned for a while, maybe we've just not maintained for a while, and that we have all this dust that has accumulated, because we can see in the background there is still some parts of the castle standing. So Leo, understanding your castle, understanding what that represents, whether that be a physical, a mental, an emotional, or a spiritual aspect of your life right now, once you've understood what the castle is representing in your life, you will know that it's time for healing and not war. It is time to focus on the things that matter, focus on the things that are relevant and important, not for those around you, but for you in particular, Leo. Okay, I'm going to shuffle the tarot while I carry on talking. So thriving self-care. Considering your castle doesn't exist in the way that it used to, the way that you would maybe want or need it to, is basically telling you it's time to stop being honest with yourself. And Leo, this is what I'm picking up on quite strongly, is about being honest with yourself around the status and the condition of the things that you've always relied on, the things that you've always thought were there for you, the things that have always been easy for you. Because things have shifted. Things have changed. Things are not the way that you expect them or need them to be. But nobody else is going to come along and make it better for you. Nobody's going to fix it. This is something that you have to do for yourself. And this is the week that we have to face that. This is the week that we have to tackle it. And you have to tackle it on your own. So I highlighted the Tower card because to me, these are exactly the same. These two cards are talking exactly the same language, all right? So now that I've laid out the tarot, Leo, let's just have a quick squiz. I've got 3 cards. Of the 3 cards, 2 of them are what we call major arcana cards, which tells you that this is a hugely important and significant week for you. You are going to feel as if your world has crumbled, all right? And as I said, it might not be your whole world. It might be certain aspects. It may be one relationship, or one situation or one circumstance, or it could be even bigger than that. But there is definitely walls crumbling, okay? There is definitely a situation of things no longer being in the way that they always have. There is this shift that is taking place in a huge level for you. And Leo, what you need to understand is that you have to go through this breakdown of whatever this is that is happening to you needs to happen in order for you to thrive, in order for you to come out of this a better, happier, stronger person. This needs to absolutely happen to you because it's going to give you the opportunity to reinvent yourself, to reestablish yourself, to recreate yourself, to redefine yourself. I'm not going to lie to you, Leo. It's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be a picnic. It's not going to be a simple activity, but it's absolutely necessary. And you are so ready for this. I have to say to you, Leo, as much as this sounds all doom and gloom, it's really not. This is where we need to be focusing. This is where we need to be focusing, because if you put the effort in that is needed to allow your walls to crumble so that you can start the rebuild, so that you can start redefining and reestablishing who you are, what you are, not paying attention to anybody else around you except yourself. We have to be a little bit selfish, okay? We have to be a little bit selfish, because what I am going to say to you, Leo, is that if you're not happy, if you're not satisfied, if you're not comfortable in the world that you're living, nobody around you is going to be either. You are such a strong, powerful individual. The energy that you are, the personality that you are, the person that you are seen as is such a strong, powerful individual, such a strong, powerful person. And if you're not satisfied, if you're not happy, if you're not living the best life, if you're not taking care of yourself, I can assure you everybody in your life, everybody around you is going to be negatively impacted as well. It's a heavy cross to bear, okay? And you've been bearing it for too long. So it's definitely time to let go of anything and everything that isn't working for you, and to give yourself permission to reestablish, to redefine, and to re-engineer your life, yourself, and your circumstance, so that you can be happier, so that the people in your life can be happier, so the people around you can be happier. But it all starts with you letting go of what is no longer working for you. All right, take care of yourself, Leo. I do wish you all the love in the world for the week ahead. Take care of yourself, look after yourself. Virgo, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading. I'm going to shuffle the Oracle deck and choose one card. We're not going to do a massive shuffle, just a quick little shuffle. Virgo, we are looking at the week of the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2022. We have a collective theme of thriving self-care. This collective theme is one that everybody is exposed to for the week ahead, one that's going to impact on absolutely everybody. So we will bring that into your reading, and it's always interesting to see how the cards connect to the thriving self-care. So Virgo, let's have a look and see what the Oracle card we've drawn for you is, and then we will carry on. So you've got card 29, which is the card of feast, but it's telling you to slow down and to celebrate yourself. Now, doesn't that just speak so beautifully to thriving self-care? I love how she sits in this beautiful chair. I mean, this bigger than life chair. She's got tables all around her, just abundantly full of fruit, full of liquid sustenance. There's a jug of liquid sustenance. You know, she has everything her heart desires and so much more. She is literally living the high life. She wants for nothing. She lacks for nothing. She has everything her heart desires. But sometimes when we are so busy, I'm just going to leave the card over there, and I'm going to start shuffling the rest of the tarot, and while I carry on talking about feast. Sometimes in life, when we're so busy just doing everything, and even if we have a feast laid out in front of us, because we're so busy and because we're so rushed, we don't often get to enjoy it. You know, I can remember my grandparents saying things like, you know, when you eat supper at night, chew your food slowly. Make sure that there are no distractions. So we weren't allowed TV on, radio on. In those days, there were no cell phones. and you know, everybody was really, if I can say, present around eating food. And this is what I want to encourage you, Virgo. And I'm not just talking about food, okay? Yes, food is one aspect of it, but we've got feast here. There is obviously a lot of positive happening in your life at the moment, Virgo. Obviously a lot of positive happening in your life at the moment. But you're so busy. You're so engrossed in everything that's going on around you that you actually haven't even noticed all the abundance that's there. Thriving self-care is telling you to take time out for yourself, to be present in whatever the situation is that you're involved in, to value, to appreciate, and most importantly, Virgo, to enjoy what it is that is right there in front of you, what it is that is taking place in front of you right now. So this feast, slow down and celebrate yourself. If you don't take the time to consciously disconnect from chaos in your life, to value and appreciate the feast which is laid in front of you, if you don't focus and practice thriving self-care, you are going to miss some amazing opportunities in your life. And when I look at the tarot that I've now laid out in front of us here now, Virgo, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune tells you that you're in a really good cycle in your life. The Wheel of Fortune tells you that everything that you're enjoying at the moment is because of all the hard work and effort that you've put into it. It's almost like this is the reward for all the effort, for everything that you've done. So you're in a really positive phase at the moment. Slow down and enjoy it. Slow down and appreciate it. Take care of yourself because you are in a period of thrive. Interesting that we have the Four of Pentacles that have come through here, Virgo, because the Four of Pentacles is the card of holding on and not allowing yourself to utilize that which you have in front of you. So it's almost like you keep stashing the feast into the cupboard, hiding it in the cupboard, locking it in a cupboard, saying, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll enjoy it tomorrow, I'll have it tomorrow, I'll work with it tomorrow. Putting things off, a little bit of procrastination. And the Four of Pentacles is basically saying to you that if you keep holding on to things, saving things for another day, holding on to it for tomorrow, when tomorrow comes, maybe all your fruit is spoiled. Maybe all your fruit and your wine has all gone sour and actually you can't enjoy it anymore. So instead of holding off for a better day, for another day, thriving self-care is telling you, Virgo, this week, eat, drink, be merry, okay? And I say that very, very casually. And I'm not talking about eat and drink all the bad stuff. I'm talking about celebrating and enjoying the life that you have created for yourself, that you've worked so hard for. The other thing that's very interesting here that we have for you, Virgo, is this Knight of Swords. Now, the Knight of Swords that we have is about speed, it's about movement, it's about activity, it's about change. It's about things happening at a moment's notice, things changing at a moment's notice, all right? And I think this is why the messages come through about slow down and celebrate yourself. Because if you hold out for another day, it may be a while before another day comes, because everything seems to be shifting and changing quite radically. So Virgo, this is the week to practice your self-care. This is the week to celebrate and enjoy the life that you have right now. Have a little bit of gratitude for everything that you have. Don't hold on to things thinking, I'll wait for a better time, or I'll wait for a better day, or I'll wait for a better situation. This is as good as it gets. And if you don't take this opportunity now to celebrate your life, to enjoy your life, to thrive, to acknowledge the thriving that you have, you may miss the opportunity because things are shifting and changing on an incredible pace, at an incredible pace. All right. So Virgo, no more holding on to your feast. Lay it out on the table. Appreciate it, enjoy it. This is the time for that. This is the time to celebrate and acknowledge all that you are, all that you have, and all that you have already accomplished, because things are shifting. The energy is shifting at quite a speed. Alrighty. Lots of love and blessings to you. Take care of yourself, and I hope you enjoy your feast this week. Libra, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading. Let's see what the week has in store for you. So Libra, I'm giving the cards just a very quick shuffle. This is the Oracle deck that I'm shuffling right now. We are looking at the week of the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. We have a collective theme of thriving self-care. That theme is applicable to absolutely everybody, regardless of their zodiac sign. It is a collective theme for everybody that I will bring into everybody's reading. Let's have a look and see what your oracle card has to say for the week ahead. Libra, we have got card number 42, which talks about homeward, and it says take yourself out on a date. How fabulous is that? Have you ever done that? Have you ever actually thought to yourself, you know what, I want a date where I go and I have a good meal and I maybe go to a movie, or I stay on the couch and order takeout and watch a good movie snugged under a blanket. Whatever it is that you enjoy, whatever pastime or activity you enjoy that soothes the soul, that soothes the heart, that is focused on thriving self-care. That is what you need to do this week. But it is centered and focused around the home, centered and focused around you within the home. So I would say this is not about a long weekend away or a holiday to an exotic location. Not at all, because let's be honest, holidays to exotic locations actually are quite exhausting, aren't they? Because there's so much to do and there's so much to see, and we tend to get quite physical. This is about just slowing down and appreciating and enjoying the moment that you have. I'm going to shuffle the tarot deck just while I carry on talking, just to multitask a little bit. So thriving self-care for each one of you is basically saying to you that you need to look after yourself, Libra. You need to take care of yourself. You need to do the things that bring you joy. Do the little things that bring you joy. If you want to stop and enjoy, like the lady's doing there, she's just standing at the front door, looking out the front door, appreciating nature in front of her. You can see we've got the little birdie over there, and she's got a cup of her favorite coffee, and she's allowing herself, she's giving herself permission to just enjoy her cup of coffee while she stares at the scenery, while she appreciates the view that she has right in front of her. And this is something, Libra, that maybe you need to do. So find an activity that you really enjoy doing, that you don't allow yourself to do very much at the moment because you don't have the time, or you feel, you know, like you're a terrible person by taking that time away from your family, or taking your time away from, you know, somebody else who needs you. And give yourself permission to value and appreciate. Give yourself permission to enjoy that cup of coffee, that movie with popcorn on the couch, whatever it may be. Now, I have laid out 3 tarot cards, and very interesting actually, the 2 that we have here. Actually, they're all interesting. So Libra, out of the 3 cards that we've got 2 major arcana cards, which is telling you that this is a fairly significant week for you. This is not just a casual kind of week. This is, and when we talk about thriving self-care, when we talk about being homeward and taking yourself out on a date, you're obviously the kind of person who's always very worried and concerned and mindful of other people. You're always putting everybody else's needs, wants, and desires before your own. That is quite evident. That is quite clear. Okay? That is quite evident, and that is quite clear in this whole situation. Now, what I want to say to you, Libra, is with the Devil card coming through, it's telling you to keep everything without becoming too excessive, without becoming too big. And this is not on a physical level, but this is within your own heart, within your own mind. Because, Libra, what we're saying to you here, with the thriving self-care and taking yourself out on a date, we don't want to go to the max. We don't want to go too extreme, because then your guilt is going to be to the max and to the extreme. So it really does boil down to just appreciating that cup of coffee. So if you're the kind of person, like me, who does not thrive in the morning without having first had that cup of coffee, instead of drinking the cup of coffee while you're doing 1,000 other things, stop all activity, sit down, drink that cup of coffee, and just really be present in that moment, enjoying that cup of coffee, or whatever this date is, whatever this activity is that brings you the self-care, without feeling guilty, without feeling like you're letting anybody down, without feeling like you are disappointing, neglecting, or abandoning anybody in your life. Because it's time for you to replenish. It's time for you to put back into your own heart and soul what is severely lacking. So Libra, you're feeling very incomplete at the moment, okay? Feeling very incomplete at the moment because it's just been go, 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 do, give, give, give. And this week we want to slow down, we want to breathe, we want to look after ourselves. And we don't want to feel guilty about any of that. We want to make sure that we are replenishing our hearts and souls, giving back to ourselves to explore all that we are and all that we may be. King of Wands over here is telling you that you're a superpower. King of Wands, Libra, is telling you that you can do it all, that you have this innate ability within yourself to take care of yourself and still take care of everybody else. But I think the King of Wands is also telling you that you've been feeding both sides of the coin for too long now, and it's definitely time for you to stop. Leave everybody else alone. It's time for you to give everybody else a break, if I can put it that way. Give yourself a break from everybody else, I should say. And the King of Wands is saying, we know you're capable. We know you can do this. We know you can multitask. We know you've got this all figured out. But even so, let everybody else figure themselves out for a couple of days as you take care of yourself, thrive, and start focusing on replenishing your own batteries, your own energies. And sometimes taking 5 minutes once a day is all that it needs to replenish your heart and soul. And that, Libra, is what you need to focus on for this week. Replenishing heart and soul, forgetting about everybody else. Even though you're capable of doing it all, don't. Don't do it, Libra. Look after yourself, take care of yourself, replenish your own energies, because that is what is very, very important for you for this week. All right, lots of love and blessings to you, Libra. I do hope you have an amazing week. Scorpio, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading. Right, let's give the cards a little bit of a shuffle to see what the week has in store for you. What do you need to focus on for this week? And Scorpio, we are looking at the week of the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2022. We have a collective theme for the week ahead of, if I can pick the cards up, thriving self-care. So that theme is for everybody, regardless of their zodiac sign. So collective theme of thriving self-care means that we all need to be focusing on taking better care of ourselves and allowing other people to take care of themselves. But let's have a look and see specifically for you, Scorpio, for the week ahead, what does the Oracle have to say? You've got card number 10, and it is about a red, and it is about a forgiveness. So red is a very, it's a powerful, passionate color. Red is the color of love. Red is the color of emotions. Red is the color of blood. Blood is life force. So red is the color of life force. Here we have a lady sitting in a bathtub. She is fully clothed in the bathtub. We have these flowers all around her, but they're all containers. And what she's doing is she is taking care of, but she's in the situation. She's got herself inside, because the bathtub here represents the situation. So Scorpio, you may be feeling very vulnerable this week. You may be feeling like, we're talking about blood, we're talking about life force, we're talking about the bare necessities of life. The forgive keyword here is actually very interesting. I'm going to push the card over there, and I'm just going to shuffle the tarot while I carry on talking, just to multitask. So the key word of forgive, it doesn't mean that you need to forgive somebody else. What it does mean, though, is you need to forgive yourself, Scorpio. Things have happened. Things have transpired. Good or bad, up and down, positive and negative. You may have been responsible. You may not have been responsible. You may have been influenced or affected. You may not have been influenced and affected. But the truth of the matter is, things happen all the time. And life carries on. So even if you are spending time focusing on one thing or trying to stay present in a current situation, things are still going on. While you are working and living and having a good life, your plants are either thriving or dying. And it's about forgiveness. It's about forgiving yourself through the situation. It's about forgiving the plants for expiring, for coming to the end of their life. But it's also about forgiving the other person who might have been responsible for taking care of the plant. So there's a lot that's going on here. Thriving self-care is basically saying to you, recognize and acknowledge your own physical state of being, emotional state of being, mental state of being. Recognize and acknowledge what you look like, what you feel like, what you're thinking, what's going on with you. And instead of focusing on the whodunit, instead of focusing on the whodunit and what went wrong and what went right and what you could have done, don't play the coulda, woulda, shoulda game, because the coulda, woulda, shoulda game is not going to get you anywhere this week, Scorpio. So this week it is about forgiveness, but it's not about staying in that energy, but it's about making the forgiveness, doing the forgiveness, going through with the forgiveness, and then moving on. But all the time focusing on thriving self-care, giving yourself permission to take better care of yourself, to nurture yourself in the way that you need to, in the way that is important, and in the way that is significant. Okay. So, laid out some tarot and very nice cards indeed. I love the fact that we have the World coming through for you, Scorpio, because the World card is acknowledging that we've come full circle. The World card is acknowledging the success that you've experienced or the success that you've been through. The World card is acknowledging how valid and appropriate and significant everything is that you've done. So when we talk about passion, when we talk about forgiveness, when we talk about life force, when we talk about thriving self-care, Scorpio, this is Spirit saying, recognize that we are completing a cycle. And when we complete one cycle, we immediately start a new cycle. So it's very important that you let go of what's happened in the past. Let it go. Recognize that right now you are in a state of possibly limbo, but things are about to shift in a very, very fast way. The Knight of Swords is saying to you, Scorpio, that things are going to pick up pace quite radically after this. So give yourself the time to process, to replenish your soul, to recognize completion, to end off all projects, all situations and circumstances, to give yourself permission to flourish, to move, because things are happening quite quickly, and ultimately know that we're working towards a happy home, a happy family, a happy self, okay? Because this is about having everything your heart desires, from the perfect family, the perfect life, the perfect home, the perfect everything. That is what matters most. We are getting there, but in order to get there, we have to let go. We have to recognize that we have come full circle and it's time to start again. But forgive anything and everything that has transpired. Push that reset button so that we're starting with a clean slate. We're starting with a blank slate. And you have to take care of yourself through this, because you're the one that has to push that reset button. Nobody is going to push that button for you. You have to do it for yourself. But definitely a lot of positives coming through. But we need to, the focus for you, Scorpio, for the week ahead is about completing, acknowledging, recognizing that we have come full circle, letting the past go, focusing on clean slate, happiness and joy, moving forward so that we can have the happy family that we want, that we deserve, and that is important to us. Good, you got that, Scorpio. Lots of love and blessings to you. Sagittarius, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading. I'm going to give the cards just a little shuffle, Sag, so that we can see what's in store for you. Sagittarius, we're looking at the week of the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2022. We have a collective theme for the week ahead of thriving self-care, as you can see there. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes through for you around thriving self-care for the week ahead. Okay, shuffling the oracle. I'm happy with that shuffle. Let's cut the deck. card for you, Sag, we have got card number 4. And card number 4 is all about the mirror. And it's telling you treat your body like the palace that it is. So thriving self-care for you is definitely going to be physical, okay? So I'm going to move it just over there. I'll carry on talking about the mirror in the meantime, but I want to just give the tarot a shuffle while I'm talking, multitasking and trying to get, trying to be proactive. So Sag, we're looking at thriving self-care. And when we look at mirror, I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of looking at myself in the mirror, because when we do look at ourselves in the mirror, all we see, all we focus on, all we talk about are the negatives. You know, not happy with this, not happy with that, wished I had more of that, less of this, longer this, shorter that. You know, as human beings, we generally are not satisfied and not happy with our own physical. So here we have a mirror, and I love the fact that they've used a full-bodied woman as the, you know, in the artwork, and it says treat your body like the palace it is. So it doesn't matter what your palace looks like. It doesn't matter if you have a large palace, if you have a small palace, if you have a short palace, if you have a tall palace. It doesn't matter. But it's about recognizing that you are wonderful, that you are amazing, that you are fabulous exactly as you are. But if you don't take care of yourself, your palace is going to let you down. If you don't take care of your palace, if you don't perform regular maintenance in your palace, if you don't look after yourself, it will let you down. So for the week ahead, you need to stop paying extra attention to your physical. You need to be paying extra attention to the mirror, because you must remember the state of your being is a mirror of your life, of what's happening in your life, of the way that you are understanding and processing things in your life. Oh, wow, look at this. This is very interesting. So, Sag, you might not like me by the end of this reading, because I'm going to say things to you that you don't want to hear. No, I'm being silly. So what we have here with the Justice card, Sag, is basically Spirit saying to you, you know what you need to do. You know what's right. You know the truth. You know the things that are relevant and appropriate. We understand what we're talking about here. We understand thriving self-care. But the Justice card is telling you that, you know, you have to do what you have to do. And maybe you've been putting something off for the longest time. Maybe you've been neglecting something for the longest time, or just not allowing yourself permission to be for the longest time. But the Justice card is telling you can't avoid it any longer. There are certain things that you have to do, and it's like very clearly defined, black and white. If this is health related, Sag, if you've been putting something off for a long time, please take this as a serious sign that it's time to do whatever you need to do. If you have been wondering, considering, or pondering changing diet, changing exercise program, changing lifestyle, you know, any of those kind of things, Sag, please take this seriously as an absolute indication that it's time for you to do that. Okay, Justice is telling you can't get away with it for much longer. Interesting here with the Two of Swords, because the Two of Swords is telling you that you don't see what's right in front of you. So this is almost like you are self-sabotaging, because you know what you're doing is wrong. You know that you're doing something that you shouldn't be doing. The mirror is reflecting it straight back to you. Treat your body like the palace it is. Thriving self-care. The answers are right here in front of you. So if you're like thinking to me right now, in your head, listening to me going, I don't know what she's talking about, you're fooling yourself. I'm sorry, Sag. I'm sorry that I have to be so hard. I'm sorry that I have to say it like it is, but I am just reading the cards. So you know what it is that you need to do, whether it is just a tweak or an adjustment within your lifestyle, within your self-care routine or regime, whatever it is. Just acknowledge yourself, be honest with yourself, because that's also the Two of Swords. Two of Swords says is you're not seeing what's right in front of you. You're not being completely honest with yourself around a circumstance and a situation, and you absolutely need to be. We have the Eight of Pentacles. And I think this is an incredibly appropriate card for you as well, Sag, because the Eight of Pentacles is basically saying to you that, you know, there's a lot of hard work ahead. You know that, okay? You know that in order to achieve whatever it is we're talking about here, thriving self-care in particular, it's a lot of hard work. It's not going to be simple. It's not going to be easy. And you have to be focused. You have to be dedicated. You have to be loyal. You have to be, you know, all of those determined. You have to be all of those kind of keywords. And maybe that's what you're afraid of. Maybe you feel like you don't have enough hours in the day, time or energy to do the things that you need to do. But in all honesty, bringing you back to the mirror, treat your body like the palace it is. If you don't make the time for whatever is needed, Sag, You are the only one who is going to suffer. Nobody else in your life, nobody else in your family, nobody else in your situation is going to suffer except for you. You have to make the time to do the things that you need to do. And it is something that's going to take time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. So also what that means is that this is not like, and I'm just going to use gym and exercise as an example, okay? But that might not be what this is relating to for you. But Sag, this is like, you can't go to gym once and expect your problem, your situation, your circumstance to be resolved, okay? It requires going to gym regularly, or a regular workout, for doing, like, persistence will pay off. So whatever your body is going through, doing something once is not going to resolve, repair, mend, fix, maintain the state that you're looking for. And you know that you're running out of time, and that you have to be honest with yourself around doing the things that you need to do. All right, Sag, consider yourself lectured. Consider yourself spoken to. I hope this helps. I hope this makes sense to you, and wishing you an amazing week ahead. A week of thriving self-care, Sag. Take care. Capricorn, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading. So Capricorn, we're looking at the week of the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. We have a collective theme of thriving self-care, as you can see over there. So that is a theme that is applicable to everybody this week, not just Capricorn, regardless of their zodiac. Okay, I've shuffled the oracle. Let's draw a card and see how thriving self-care is going to talk to all Capricorn energies. Let's see, Capricorn, what does thriving self-care look like for you this week? You have got card 12, which is the card of expectations, and it tells you don't seek anyone's approval. Don't seek anyone's approval. So that's quite interesting. So Capricorn, what I immediately get from this is that, you know, we all go through life and circumstances happen, things happen at home, at work, within your social circles, whatever it is. And we're always so focused and so aware of what everybody else is saying, what everybody else is thinking, what everybody else is feeling, that we often neglect ourselves. Our collective theme being thriving self-care is basically telling you, don't seek anyone's approval. Focus on what makes you happy. Focus on the things that bring you joy, the things that fulfill your heart and soul, and forget about everybody else. Because if you go through life trying to actively please everybody else, I can guarantee you're going to fail. Capricorn, I have the tarot deck here in front of me. I'm going to shuffle the tarot deck while I carry on talking about expectations, just to speed it up and to do some simple multitasking. So expectations is not about adjusting other people's expectations, so Capricorn, it's about adjusting your expectations in the current situation. And if you are practicing thriving self-care, if you are focusing on your own happiness, your own needs, wants, and desires, your own things that matter the most to you, and if you're not worrying about what other people think and what other people say, I can almost guarantee you that you will have better success. You will have better outcomes. You will have better happiness if you stop worrying about what everybody else has to say about the situation. So it's about readjusting your expectations. It's not about readjusting everybody else's expectations. All right, so Capricorn, let's have a look at the tarot that I've laid out here now. So I've got 3 tarot cards for you. We've got the Emperor, we've got the 3 of Swords, and we have the 8 of Wands. Now, a 3 of Swords I'm just going to call it the elephant in the room. It is the card of heartbreak. It's the card of disappointment. It's the card of loss and sorrow. But in all honesty, I think this is what you're currently experiencing because of the expectations, because you're always seeking somebody else's approval. You're always looking for somebody else's validation and approval in everything that you do. And in all honesty, it's a never-ending cycle of hardship, of difficulty, of tragedy. Thriving self-care Capricorn is basically telling you to be strong, to be bold, and to be confident, because that's what the Emperor is all about. To be a strong leader, to put on that brave face and to pretend like everything's fabulous, to not have expectations, okay? Because we know that those expectations and other people's approval that we've been seeking just leads us around disappointment, just leads us to always feel terrible. And we're tired of that, Capricorn. You don't want that anymore. You want to feel strong and confident. You want to feel like everything's fabulous and everything's wonderful. But you have to realign yourself. You have to readjust yourself. And all that you are and all that you're doing and all that you want and all that you need and all that you deserve. So you've got to do some strong readjustments, which is your thriving self-care, to just change the situation so that everybody can be happy. And I mean that everybody can be happy, not just you, Capricorn. And I know what I'm saying to you here about adjusting yourself sounds very selfish. It sounds like you're only worrying about your own happiness. But no, if you are happy, everybody's happy. If you are unhappy, everybody's unhappy. And if you try and please everybody else before pleasing yourself, you are the only one who's unhappy. So in order to have a win-win scenario, we need to readjust our expectations. We need to make sure that we're not seeking other people's approval for our own happiness. Now, interesting card over here with the Eight of Wands, because the Eight of Wands is the card of movement. It's the card of change. It's the card that says everything's already in motion. So this is almost like Spirit acknowledging, Capricorn, that you've already started this process. You've already started caring less, and I know that's a terrible, terrible, terrible way of saying it, but you've already started realigning yourself to be more powerful, to be stronger, to be more assertive in taking care of yourself, so that you are not the one carrying the broken heart all the time. You've already started this process, and if you can just let go of seeking other people's approval this week, that change will happen a lot quicker, a lot sooner, a lot easier than you expect, than you anticipate. But you have to align yourself. You have to readjust your own expectations, recognizing that your own self matters more than anything, and understand that you are an amazing soul. You are strong and confident, but we do need to put our emotions away. We do need to not feel the feelings as much as we have been, as much as we have done in the past. We need to recognize that we are already evolving and going through a period of evolution and change. And you're not the same person you used to be, but you're also not the same person you will be. Okay, so you're only partway through your change, or you're partway through this growth spurt, if I can call it that you're going through. But the only thing that you need to focus on now, Capricorn, is focusing on thriving your own self-care, looking after yourself, looking after your emotional self. Because when I look at all of this, it's all very emotional. Okay, so this week the focus is going to be on your emotional strength, on your emotional stamina, and letting go of other people, of seeking other people's approvals, adjusting expectations so that you're not left brokenhearted, so that you're not left disappointed, and so that this change that's taking place can continue to happen and continue to evolve in the way that it needs to. I like this for you, Capricorn. Good. You know what you need to do this week. Lots of love and blessings. I hope you have an amazing week ahead, Capricorn. Good. And welcome, Aquarius. Welcome to your week ahead reading. So Aquarius, we are looking at the week of the 28th of August to the 3rd of September 2022. I'm just giving the Oracle a little shuffle. Oh my gosh, now I can't even pick them up off the table. Just giving the Oracle a little shuffle, and then we will draw a card for you. Aquarius, we have a collective theme of thriving care this week. A collective theme of thriving care this week, which means that thriving care is important to everybody, not just Aquarius, but to everybody, regardless of their zodiac. It is a collective theme for the week ahead. Let's see how that's going to play out for you and what it means for Aquarius. So Aquarius, we have got card number 40, It talks about mourning, and it says the world awaits you. So this is like waking up. What comes to me, and I know the image doesn't feed that, but to me it's like waking up on Christmas morning, where there's all this potential, all this possibility, all this excitement, all this kind of enthusiasm for what the day may bring. So imagine it like waking up on the morning of your birthday. You know that there's a lot of plans, that there's a lot of things in store, that there's going to be a lot of excitement and a lot of happiness and a lot of enthusiasm, that there's a lot that's taking place. So this is you. Is the world awaits you, recognizing that where you are at the moment, you're at the beginning of some beautiful and amazing things. I've also just noticed that this person is underwater, so she must be a mermaid of some kind, because we've got underwater bee over there, we've got some fishies over there, we've even got a little fishy over here. So she's definitely under the water, but not under the weather. So she's just living a whole different reality, a whole different world, which I just think is so amazing. But in all honesty, what we've got happening here, Aquarius, I'm just going to shuffle the tarot while I'm chatting. So what this is basically saying to you is that you've got to give yourself permission to be excited. Give yourself permission, Aquarius, to be excited about what the world has to offer you. Give yourself permission to be excited about what this next week has in store for you. Give yourself permission to just embrace the day, to just embrace the week, to be open to anything, to be open to a life of happiness, a life of bliss, but understanding that you get to do what you want to do. I say that because of our theme of thriving self-care. Thriving self-care says that you get to do what you want to do. This is all about you, okay? This is about everybody's eyes and the attention being put on you, because this is your day, this is your week, this is your opportunity to shine, to experience happiness, to experience the success, to experience everything that you have been wanting for such a long time. So it's almost like waiting, that build up towards your birthday, that build up towards, the Christmas day or whatever it is, that build up to when you get spoiled, where you get everything that you want. That is what this week is all about for you, Aquarius. Okay, looking at the tarot, we've got some amazing cards that have come through for you. We've got two major arcana cards that we have here, the Chariot and the Lovers. And what we have with both of these cards is duality. So it's almost like understanding that you can't have one without the other. You can't have this without that. You can't have up without down. Everything is about duality. But what you also have here is this huge, big expression of emotion. So what I'm going to say to you, Aquarius, is that this week you have to get emotional. So when we talk about thriving self-care for you, it is on an emotional level. So it's about getting in touch with your emotions. It's about giving yourself permission to be excited about the potential of something in your life on an emotional level. It is something that is that you've been working towards for a while. It is something that you've been journeying towards for a while, that you've been wanting and longing for a while. And it could be to do with your connection with another person. But I do want to say to you that understanding that even though there's huge excitement in the air, even though there's huge passion in the air, there's huge potential for passion in the air, there's also this huge potential that you need to understand the consequences of your choices and your actions. Because sometimes in our enthusiasm, sometimes in our excitement, we can make a wrong choice and we could end up burning ourselves. Thriving self-care is telling you, give yourself permission to explore all things this week. Give yourself permission to explore emotions on such a deep, deep, deep level, and don't hold back on anything. If something angers you, say something. If something excites you, say something. If something thrills you, say something. But understand that this is all part of the journey. This is all part of the journey of life. And Aquarius, you're at a point in your life right now where we could end up making some really big decisions, some really big choices. And if you don't do it from a place of excitement, from a place of enthusiasm, and from a place of, wow, you're probably going to end up making a wrong choice. Think about yourself this week, and only think about yourself this week. Do not consider anybody else. We'll worry about them next week. All right, Aquarius, we'll worry about them next week. The focus this week is you. The focus this week is on your needs, wants, and desires, and the things that make you happy. But this is definitely a big emotional week for you. And I feel like it's a week where you can experience emotions in a positive way, and you've got nothing to worry about. But you need to be doing the expressing. You need to be putting it out there. You need to be talking and telling people, telling your significant other, your potential significant other, telling everybody what it is that you're feeling, what it is that you're going through, and understand that this is not the end of the road. This is part way. We are in the middle of a process, in the middle of a progress. We are in walking a road and experiencing the things that we need to and experiencing the things that we want to. And there is major, major, major opportunity for love and happiness for you this week, if you're honest and if you're excited and if you express that energy. Okay, so Aquarius, you know what you need to do this week. Focus on your needs, wants, and desires, and just know that everything is thriving in the way that it should, in the way that it must. I do hope that you have an amazing week, Aquarius, an amazing week ahead. Pisces, hello and welcome. Welcome to your week ahead reading. I am going to shuffle our oracle deck and see what comes through for you. Pisces, we are looking at the week of the 28th of August through to the 3rd of September 2022. 3rd of August. No, gosh, 28th of August, 3rd of September 2022. All right. So Pisces, I'm shuffling the Oracle deck, just a quick shuffle. We also have a collective theme this week of thriving self-care. So thriving self-care is the theme for everybody, regardless of their zodiac. So not just for Pisces, for absolutely everybody. But we're going to see how thriving self-care comes through in our oracle and our tarot that we're going to be drawing shortly. So let's have a look and see the message from the oracle around thriving self-care for all Pisces for the week ahead. We have got card number 20, and card number 20 is Lighthouse, and it says, don't doubt your worth. She's putting up a sign on her wall that says, I am always enough. She'll bring it forward, let you see. I am always enough. And this is exactly it, Pisces. You know what? Sometimes we feel like we're being selfish or obnoxious or whatever when we toot our own horn, when we are, when we express our worth, when we say who we are and what we are, we feel like we're being obnoxious. We feel like we're being, full of ourselves, etc. But actually, sometimes if you go through life waiting for somebody to say, hey, Pisces, you've done really well, you could be waiting a very long time. And considering this week, it's about thriving self-care. It's about actually, if you've done well in anything, with something, tell people, share that with people, let people see who you are, what you are, and how wonderful you are. And if they at that point want to give you a congratulations or say something positive, then that's great. But if they also want to choose to ignore that, then that's up to them as well. But you're going to focus on you. You're not focusing on anybody else this week, Pisces. You are not going to doubt your own worth. And if you need to put a sign up around the house to remind yourself how fabulous you are, to remind yourself how wonderful you are, then please go ahead and absolutely do that. Just going to shuffle the tarot so that we get the cards ready. But being a lighthouse, let's talk about what does it mean to be a lighthouse. Lighthouse is something that stands on the edge of something, shines a light as warning, as just putting out a sign saying careful, careful, careful. And a lighthouse doesn't budge for anything. It doesn't move out of the way. It doesn't fear or panic. It stands solid, it stands confident, it stands tall, and it stands strong in its conviction in who it is. And I think for you, Pisces, for the week ahead, by standing like a lighthouse, in not doubting yourself, in not fearing what may or may not happen, but just standing in your conviction of the fact that you are always enough, as she says there. you know, and not limiting or restricting yourself in any way. To me, that is the most important thing for you right now. And this is what this whole week is going to be in store. This is what the whole week has planned for you. So I'm going to lay out some tarot and let's see, Pisces. Yeah, you see Pisces. Let me explain what I'm on about. Okay, so we've got 3 tarot cards. We've got the Queen of Wands, we've got the 4 of Pentacles, and we've got the 8 of Swords. Both of these, okay, I'm going to ignore that one for a second, but both of these 2 cards are both about holding on to stuff, okay? Not wanting to share, not wanting to release, but also not wanting to admit. Okay, so that's what's happening here, is we don't want to admit something to ourselves. And both of these are doing their actions. Both of these 2 people or situations or circumstances are responding based on their own fears. So they fear something. So when we have something happen in our life that makes us fearful, we immediately jump into the fight or flight mode. And both of these have gone into the hold on mode. Both of these are too afraid to face the truth. So they're holding on to everything, thinking that that is the right thing to be doing. So let's look at our Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is amazing. I love the fact that she's holding this huge big sunflower. Sunflowers are my absolute best, my absolute favorite, because they are such happy plants. They are such happy flowers, but they're also active. What I mean by that is, if you think about a sunflower in the morning, it wakes up facing the sun, and it follows the sun throughout the whole day. So it's constantly adjusting itself to take advantage of the sun's energy, the sun's positivity. So this is who you are, Pisces, is you are generally somebody who takes advantage of situations and circumstances to a degree. And then suddenly your insecurities and your doubts start coming into play, and then you start holding on to everything, okay? Holding on to in this particular case, the 4 of Pentacles is talking about holding on to our stuff. But I'm going to say to you, considering we're looking at self-care and even here self-worth, this is you holding on to your insecurities. So each one of these pentacles that he's clutching and holding on to actually represents one of your insecurities, doubts, fears. So when you start off the day feeling very confident and feeling very strong and feeling very capable, but as you go, you start grabbing and grabbing and grabbing and holding on to more and more and more, because your insecurities always seem to take over, especially at the moment, okay? And then what happens is you end up in a situation where you feel trapped and caged and bound and, you know, like you're a hostage, like you're being held captive. But the truth of the matter is, this is all a figment of your imagination. And the true reality is, you are your own worst enemy. So, Pisces, for the week ahead, you need to start practicing better self-care on an emotional, intellectual, spiritual, mental kind of way. You've got to start recognizing your own doubts and insecurities. You need to constantly remind yourself that you are enough. I am always enough. Keep reminding yourself that. And when you find yourself starting to retreat, starting to pull away, starting to grab onto everything that's around you, stop what you're doing and say, hold a second. I am enough. I am always enough. In which case we can eliminate this. We can prevent this. We can mitigate this so that this doesn't influence us, so that we can stay here. We can stay strong. We can stay capable. We can stay confident, and that we can stay active in doing the things that we need to do in our lives. But you have to stand tall, and you have to believe in yourself, most importantly. So Pisces, for your week ahead, it is about self-worth. It is about believing in yourself. And it is about acknowledging your insecurities, your fears, and your doubts, and working on it, with it, through it, so that you don't end up in this situation. Okay. Keep reminding yourself, I am always enough, because you are absolutely, Pisces. You are absolutely. All right. I do hope you have an amazing week. Sending you so much love and blessings.